Princess Anne knew that Meghan would have a very short shelf life on the world stage of the British monarchy. Princess Anne's famously blunt attitude has long been respected within the royal family, but her deep dislike for Meghan Markle shocked everyone. Behind the polished royal appearances, tension simmered from the moment Meghan joined the family. Their first meeting left no doubt that Anne had strong reservations about the Duchess of Sussex. But what caused this seemingly unshakable royal to form such a fierce opinion, and why does Princess Anne hate Meghan Markle? Princess Anne was rightly concerned that if the marriage proceeded and there were children, there would be huge problems, not because of Meghan's colour, but because of Meghan's inability. The answer goes beyond personal differences and into a clash of personalities, values, and royal expectations, culminating in Anne's infamous declaration, "She is a liar." The first encounter was a tense beginning. As someone who had long been a staunch defender of royal traditions and values, Princess Anne approached her role within the monarchy with a no-nonsense attitude. She is known for her dedication to duty, often performing more royal engagements than many of her family members. It was within this context that Anne first met Meghan, who had recently entered the royal circle through her engagement to Prince Harry. What transpired during that initial encounter set the tone for the strained relationship that would develop between the two women. From the outset, Princess Anne's skepticism was evident. Reports suggest that Anne was unimpressed by Meghan's background as an actress and her lack of experience in the royal sphere. To Anne, the royal family wasn't about glamour or fame, it was about service and sacrifice. Having spent her life carrying out the less glamorous aspects of royal duties, Anne valued hard work and dedication above all else. Meghan, on the other hand, came from the world of Hollywood, where media attention and personal brand were part of the lifestyle. This stark contrast in backgrounds created an immediate divide between the two women. Princess Anne didn't waste time offering Meghan advice about her new role in the royal family. According to insiders, Anne made it clear that being a royal wasn't a path to fame or personal achievement, but rather a job, one that came with heavy responsibilities. Anne's advice to Meghan reportedly centered on the idea of duty first and celebrity second. In typical Anne fashion, her words were blunt and direct, leaving little room for interpretation. Meghan instantly felt uncomfortable. While she had entered the royal family with her own vision of using her new platform to champion causes close to her heart, Meghan was unprepared for the rigidity of the royal rules that Anne emphasized. Her background as a well-known actress and advocate for social justice meant she had a public presence long before joining the monarchy, and she believed that this experience could serve her well within the royal family. In her view, being a royal could blend her passion for humanitarian causes with her desire for a modern, relatable approach to royalty. But for Princess Anne, Meghan's vision seemed out of touch with the responsibilities of royal life. To her, Meghan's enthusiasm for global attention and the media's spotlight clashed with the royal family's long-held belief in quiet service. This fundamental difference in how the two women viewed royal life was at the core of their tense relationship. Meghan reportedly found Anne's bluntness difficult to handle. She was accustomed to the polished interactions of Hollywood and the supportive environment of her activist circles. Meghan was unprepared for the unvarnished truth that Princess Anne delivered. While Anne's advice was rooted in years of experience, Meghan felt that Anne's attitude lacked understanding of her unique position as a biracial woman entering an overwhelmingly traditional and often rigid institution. Meghan believed that her fresh perspective could bring positive change to the monarchy, while Anne saw her as someone who didn't fully understand the gravity of the role she was stepping into. The tension between them grew from this first encounter. Anne thought Meghan seemed unprepared to shoulder the weight of royal responsibility, and to Meghan, Anne's attitude felt dismissive of her strengths. Meghan's determination to carve out her own space within the monarchy, coupled with her resistance to conforming to the strict rules that Anne lived by, only deepened the divide over time. This initial clash would grow into the more public conflict that later unfolded, with Anne's sharp judgments and Meghan's modern approach continuing to butt heads at every turn. Princess Anne's advice: the job versus celebrity. Anne's initial advice to Meghan was direct. According to royal insiders, she emphasized that the royal family's purpose was to serve, not to seek the spotlight. In Anne's view, being a member of the royal family was about performing charitable work, attending official engagements, and upholding the centuries-old traditions of the monarchy. Public service, not personal celebrity, was at the core of this role. This message was probably well-meaning, but it was delivered with characteristic bluntness. For Anne, there was no room for negotiation. This was the way royal life worked. Joining the royal family represented an opportunity for Meghan to expand her influence and continue her humanitarian work on a global scale. She saw her new position as a way to modernize the monarchy, to reach new audiences, and address social issues in ways that hadn't been done before. Her approach was more forward-thinking and media-friendly, and she viewed the public platform provided by her royal title as a way to effect positive change. In her mind, the royal role didn't have to be limited to traditional duties and engagements, it could be a vehicle for greater impact. But this perspective clashed sharply with Princess Anne's traditional view of the monarchy. She saw Meghan's attitude as dangerously close to treating the role like celebrity status rather than a serious job. Anne was known for avoiding the media and keeping her personal life out of the public eye, and she had long resisted the notion of royalty being synonymous with fame. To Anne, Meghan's approach represented everything she believed the royal family should not be. As time went on, Princess Anne's frustration with Meghan's attitude grew. It seemed that Meghan was more concerned with her public image and personal projects than fulfilling the royal obligations that came with her title. Meghan's desire to take on high-profile initiatives, work with the media, and focus on causes that she personally championed led to increasing tension between the two women. The divide between the two deepened as Meghan's work within the royal family progressed. Meghan's participation in glossy magazine features, her high-profile charity work, and her connections to Hollywood only added to Anne's belief that Meghan didn't fully grasp the gravity of her role. Meghan Markle's role in the royal family, a short shelf life. From the very beginning, Princess Anne predicted that Meghan Markle's time with the royal family would be brief. To many, this appeared as a harsh judgment. However, to Anne, it was a clear observation based on her years of experience navigating royal life. Anne saw in Meghan a figure who would struggle to fully adapt to the limitations of life within the monarchy. Her belief that Meghan's independent nature and celebrity status would eventually lead to her departure was more than just a personal opinion, it was rooted in Anne's deep understanding of the complexities and pressures of being a royal. One of the main reasons Princess Anne foresaw a short shelf life for Meghan in the royal family was Meghan's fiercely independent nature. Meghan had already built a successful career before entering royal life as an actress and humanitarian. She had her own voice and her own causes. Unlike most members of the royal family, who were born into the system and groomed for the role from a young age, Meghan came into the monarchy with a fully formed identity. This independence, while admirable in many ways, clashed with the expectations of the royal family, where individual desires often have to be subordinated to the greater needs of the crown. For Princess Anne, Meghan's independence was both a strength and a potential threat. While the royal family has certainly evolved over time, it remains an institution built on tradition, hierarchy, and sacrifice. Anne understood better than anyone that to survive within the royal family, one must be willing to give up personal ambitions and take on the often thankless task of public service. Meghan's independence, however, suggested that she would find it difficult to relinquish control over her own narrative and conform to the rigid expectations of royal life. This, Anne believed, would inevitably lead to conflict between Meghan's personal desires and the duties required of her. Meghan's celebrity status also raised red flags for Anne. As a seasoned royal, Anne avoided the press unless it was absolutely necessary. Meghan, on the other hand, came from a world where media exposure was not only accepted but embraced. In Hollywood, fame was a tool used to further careers, promote causes, and build influence. But within the royal family, fame is viewed with caution surrounded the attention that came with being a royal, as it had to be carefully managed. Any deviation from the script could lead to public backlash or damage to the institution. Princess Anne thought Meghan's status as a well-known figure from Hollywood was a complication, one that brought a heightened level of scrutiny. Meghan's ability to capture the public's attention so easily was, to Anne, a double-edged sword. While it allowed Meghan to quickly gain popularity, it also made her a potential liability. The media attention that Meghan naturally attracted could, in Anne's eyes, lead to dangerous levels of public interest and possibly scandal, both of which could harm the carefully curated image of the royal family. Anne's belief that Meghan wouldn't fully commit to the royal lifestyle wasn't without reason. over the years, and had witnessed other members of the family struggle to balance their personal ambitions with the constraints of royal life. The royal family's expectations are strict, and the role requires an extraordinary amount of self-sacrifice. Anne had always been willing to make those sacrifices, but she questioned whether Meghan would do the same. As Meghan continued to navigate her role within the royal family, Anne's concerns seemed to grow. She could see that Meghan's ambitions were unlikely to be contained within the confines of royal duties. It became increasingly clear that Meghan's independent spirit would eventually lead her to seek an exit from royal life rather than a long-term commitment to the role. In fact, for Princess Anne, Meghan's departure from the royal family seemed inevitable. In Anne's mind, Meghan's role within the family was always going to be temporary, a short shelf life defined by a tension between personal ambition and royal duty. Ultimately, Anne's prediction came true when Meghan and Prince Harry decided to step back from their roles as senior royals. While Meghan's time in the royal family was brief, her impact and the lasting tensions that followed left a mark. Princess Anne's foresight, shaped by her own experiences and deeply ingrained understanding of royal life, proved to be accurate in predicting the eventual outcome of Meghan's role within the monarchy. The Oprah interview fallout was another pivotal moment. The world was riveted when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry sat down with Oprah Winfrey in March 2021 for an explosive tell-all interview. The couple's candid revelations about their experiences within the royal family sparked global headlines. For Princess Anne, the interview was nothing short of a disaster, an act of betrayal that she believed had the potential to cause irreparable damage to the monarchy. From the moment the interview aired, the backlash was swift. Meghan and Harry accused members of the royal family of failing to support them during their struggles, and Meghan specifically cited a lack of concern for her mental health. She also spoke about the isolation she felt, the restrictions placed on her life, and, perhaps most controversially, allegations of racism within the family. Meghan claimed that there had been discussions about how dark their son Archie's skin would be before he was born. The interview struck a nerve with audiences worldwide, but for Princess Anne, it crossed a line that should never have been breached. As someone who had spent her life dedicated to upholding the institution of the monarchy, she viewed Meghan's public accusations as a direct attack on the royal family's reputation. The Oprah interview wasn't just a candid conversation, it was a calculated move to undermine the integrity of the monarchy. The fact that Meghan and Harry had chosen to take their grievances to one of the most high-profile talk show hosts in the world was, in Anne's view, a betrayal of the family's trust and values. The fallout from the interview shook the royal family, but it was Princess Anne's response that truly stood out. According to reports from palace insiders, Anne was outraged by Meghan's accusations, particularly those that painted the family as uncaring and, worse, racist. In Anne's eyes, the monarchy had always been a force for good, and Meghan's claims not only challenged that perception, also threatened to create a lasting stain on the institution that Anne had devoted her life to protecting. It was during this period that Anne reportedly uttered the now infamous phrase, "She is a liar." Princess Anne's frustration was compounded by the fact that the interview came at a time when the royal family was already facing significant public scrutiny. The monarchy was in a fragile position, with Prince Andrew's scandal still looming in the background and ongoing debates about the future of the institution in a modern world. Meghan and Harry's interview only added fuel to the fire. For Anne, this was an unforgivable breach of loyalty. Her reaction to the interview also highlighted the generational divide between the two women. While Anne had been raised in an era where discretion and duty came before personal feelings, Meghan, a modern woman with a Hollywood background, was more accustomed to openness and transparency. Meghan's decision to publicly speak about her struggles was in stark contrast to the way Anne had handled her own challenges within the family. The idea of using the media as a platform to express personal discontent was not only inappropriate but also simply unthinkable. The monarchy's expectations versus Meghan's reality became clear. Meghan had spent years cultivating her own public identity, championing causes she was passionate about, and navigating the media landscape with relative ease. Her experiences in Hollywood had taught her to leverage the power of her voice and platform to create change. She came into the royal family believing she could continue to use her position to drive meaningful social progress. Support for Meghan and Harry's exit from the royal fold only amplified Anne's concerns about the future of the monarchy. Their departure left a noticeable gap in the family's structure, particularly as the couple had been seen as part of the next generation of royals who would carry the monarchy forward. For Anne, their decision to step back from royal duties was not just a personal choice, it reflected the fragility of the family's future. With fewer active royals available to take on official responsibilities, she worried that the monarchy would be stretched too thin, especially as public expectations of the royal family's visibility and service remained high. Skepticism about the slim monarchy was also tied to her broader concerns about the institution's relevance in a rapidly changing world. She feared that Charles's vision of a smaller royal family could lead to a loss of the monarchy's gravitas and historical importance, and questioned whether a smaller group of senior royals would be able to maintain the extensive public duties, charitable work, and international relations that had been integral to the family's role for centuries. In Anne's view, a more streamlined monarchy might appear modern on the surface, but it risked undermining the long-established framework that had supported the institution for generations. Meghan and Harry's decision to leave exacerbated these fears. Their departure also signaled a potential shift in the public's perception of the monarchy. For years, the younger royals, including Meghan and Harry, had been seen as a breath of fresh air, offering a more relatable and modern face for the institution. With their exit, and worried that the monarchy would struggle to maintain its relevance among younger generations, particularly as public opinion of the royal family had become increasingly divided. Anne was also troubled by the optics of Meghan and Harry's departure. Their highly publicized exit generated significant media attention and placed the royal family under intense scrutiny. The media frenzy surrounding their decision only heightened Anne's fears that the monarchy was becoming more vulnerable to external pressures. She believed that the family's strength came from its ability to remain united and avoid public disputes, and Meghan and Harry's split from the family presented a stark contrast to that ideal. In Anne's mind, the future of the monarchy was tied to the idea of unity and continuity, and their departure represented a break in that continuity, one that she feared could weaken the monarchy's standing both domestically and internationally. Ultimately, Princess Anne's skepticism toward the slimmed-down monarchy and her concerns about the future were deeply intertwined with Meghan and Harry's departure. As someone who had always placed duty above personal ambition, and saw their exit as a warning sign, a reminder that the royal family, despite its long history, was not immune to internal tensions and public pressure. For Anne, the question remained, could the monarchy survive and thrive with fewer royals actively working to uphold its traditions and maintain its connection to the people? Anne's push for Meghan and Harry's eviction from Frogmore marked a pivotal moment in their ongoing tensions with the royal family, and Princess Anne played a significant role in this dramatic move. While much of the public's attention focused on Prince Charles's leadership as the new king, it was Princess Anne's quiet but firm influence behind the scenes that helped shape the decision to remove them from the royal property. For Anne, this eviction was not only about reclaiming the monarchy's authority but also about protecting the integrity and future of the royal institution. Frogmore Cottage is a royal residence on the Windsor estate. It was gifted to Meghan and Harry by Queen Elizabeth II when they married in 2018. After spending millions of pounds on renovations, the couple had planned for Frogmore to be their family home. However, after stepping back from royal duties and relocating to the United States, the couple's continued hold on Frogmore became a contentious issue within the royal family. For Anne, their departure from active royal life and their subsequent actions, including Harry's explosive memoir *Spare*, made it clear that they no longer deserved to hold such a prestigious residence. The book's revelations, including details of Harry's personal struggles and accusations of dysfunction within the royal family, reignited tensions and placed the monarchy under immense public scrutiny. For Anne, the book crossed a line that could no longer be ignored. She viewed Harry and Meghan's public airing of grievances as a direct attack on the family, and the continued association of the couple with royal property like Frogmore only added to the damage. Behind closed doors, Princess Anne reportedly pushed King Charles to take decisive action, while he had been inclined to take a more lenient approach. Anne's strong conviction that the monarchy needed to reassert its authority influenced his final decision. Allowing Meghan and Harry to maintain their residence at Frogmore sent the wrong message, one of leniency toward those who no longer upheld their duties to the crown. Anne's reasoning for the eviction was deeply rooted in her belief in the sanctity of royal tradition. She viewed the monarchy as an institution that had weathered countless storms through its ability to maintain continuity and stability. allowing Meghan and Harry to keep Frogmore after they had so publicly distanced themselves from royal duties and after Harry had revealed private family matters in his memoir undermined the sense of unity and discretion that Anne believed was critical to the monarchy's survival. For Anne, their eviction was not just about property, it was about drawing a clear line between those who were committed to the royal family's values and those who were not. Sure, Anne hates Meghan, but for her, it was never just about personal grievances. It is about safeguarding the legacy and future of the monarchy itself. Do you think Meghan's inability to fit into the royal family was simply a clash of backgrounds, or do you think there was more to it? Share your thoughts in the comments, we'd love to hear. For now, though, we're out of here. Catch you in the next video.